You are now watching The Meech.
After nearly a year without a Nintendo Direct, the long-awaited June 2024 Nintendo Direct is finally here, and to say the least, there is a lot to unpack here. With recent Nintendo Directs, they have been insane, and in the best ways possible. That June Direct last year was easily one of the most legendary Nintendo Directs they've ever had, and even the September one was excellent. But going into this one, I didn't have the highest of expectations. They weren't low, but at the same time, the Nintendo Switch era is coming to a close. What more could they possibly reveal? And a certain bird was rather quiet, so I wasn't sure what to expect. And after watching the Nintendo Direct, there is a lot to talk about, and yes, there are even a few things that I found to be kinda iffy to just plain bad. Believe me, those iffy to bad things are likely getting their own videos. But with that out of the way, the question is, how was the June 2024 Nintendo Direct? Considering how long we waited for it, was it worth the wait? Did it live up to expectations? Did it exceed expectations? Was it just mediocre? Or most importantly, was it so bad that it made me even more emo than I actually am? Time to find out. The Nintendo Direct started off with quite a strong opening. And by quite a strong opening, I mean Mario and Luigi is back! They did it! Nintendo actually did it! Not only did they reveal a new Mario and Luigi game, but this is the third Direct in a row that revealed a Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG Remake back in the June Direct of last year. Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door in the September Direct last year. And now, we have Mario and Luigi. So we have every Mario RPG series on the Nintendo Switch. But unlike those two games, this one is a full-on new entry. With the history of the Mario and Luigi series, we haven't had a new entry in almost 9 years, the last one being Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. And the thing I'm most curious about, who is developing the game? We know that Alpha Dream shut down, but in terms of a new developer, this seems to look very similar to what Alpha Dream was doing, and that is a great thing. My thoughts on the overall game itself? It is called Mario and Luigi Brothership, and I gotta say, in terms of the new art style, it's exactly what I wanted to see. It translates to box art incredibly well, and the environments look great as well. You can see that there's new voice acting for Mario and Luigi from Kevin Afghani. Considering this is a new game, I'm not surprised, but it's always nice hearing more new voice lines from him. But overall, I gotta say, this is very exciting, and I'm kinda stunned Mario and Luigi is back, but maybe this was the build-up with all the Mario RPG remakes. But needless to say, we are so back with Mario RPGs, and it is amazing. Seeing Mario and Luigi return with Mario and Luigi Brothership was an amazing start to the Nintendo Direct, but after it was revealed, we got a game that made me think, you know what, I would have liked this series to return as well, and that is NES Remix. We saw a little bit more of Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. It looks okay. It just seems to be a collection of challenges from the NES games, but with NES Remix, that included remixed challenges that you could play. Things like playing as Luigi and Donkey Kong rescuing Mario while the stage is flipped, playing as different characters in other games like Kirby and Super Mario Bros. NES Remix was such a cool series, and this just seems like a downgrade. But at the same time, it's not something that's horribly disappointing. It's not something that made me angry. It's just kind of there. Clearly a filler game. Nintendo does have a cool collector's edition for it though, so that's probably what they're banking on. That and something to fill in the July slot for a game this year. But either way, Mario and Luigi's back! Now getting into the next thing, this was about as surprising as Mario and Luigi. I'd say even more surprising. When you saw it, you might have thought of me because this is something I was obsessed with. And I can't believe it's actually back. And you would expect me to be angry about it, but I am just stunned more than anything. That's right, Nintendo Switch Sports is back. we are returning to Spoko Square with a free update that lets you enjoy. I'm trying not to laugh. A free update that lets you enjoy basketball is coming in the summer, which we know with Nintendo Switch Sports, it's coming in the winter. Why are they giving this game new sports? I don't understand it. They stopped updating the game where they stopped with the costumes, so why out of nowhere are we getting basketball? Yeah, I know it's sold incredibly well, but at the same time, does it really have that much of a following to give it a new sport, despite the rest of the DLC wrapping up in 2022? It has been almost 2 years since golf, and I gotta say, it is ridiculous, but at the same time, it is just downright hilarious. I can't be upset about it, but I will be making a video just discussing, is there actually more of a future for Nintendo Switch Sports than we expect? If you must know how I feel about the basketball game and the Nintendo Switch Sports video game for the Nintendo Switch family of systems, it looks pretty much the same as it does in Wii Sports Resort. Though knowing how Nintendo Switch Sports plays, it's probably going to feel simplified and nowhere near as good. Not to mention, it's not going to have the same charm. Because, remember, this is Spoko Square we're talking about, and we are seeing the Sportsmates again. We getting out of Macy's with this one, guys. But regardless, pretty hilarious announcement. It is not the announcement that disappointed me out of the Direct. That goes to the next game, Donkey Kong. It has been over a decade since the last entry being Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. But you know what? I can't be too disappointed that we might not be getting a new Donkey Kong on the Switch because the Nintendo Switch 2 is on the horizon. If they're going to make an ambitious new Donkey Kong game, they might as well have it on the console that's likely going to be in 4K, much more powerful, and you know what? I honestly don't mind waiting. Considering that I'm fine without a new Donkey Kong until the Nintendo Switch 2, what exactly am I disappointed by? Well, the game revealed was not Donkey Konga 4, it was Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Considering that Donkey Kong Country Returns is one of my favorite games of all time, and it was my very first Donkey Kong game, you would expect me to be excited. But remember, if a Nintendo game has HD in the title and was released during the Switch era, you can bet that it's pretty much going to be the exact same game with a very slight upgrade and not much else. Look at Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. We essentially got confirmation that it's exactly the same as a 3DS game, with some quality of life improvements and a slight upgrade visually. And this is looking to be the same thing. Now here's the thing. If they remade Donkey Kong Country Returns to look in line with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, I would be so hyped. If you look at how gorgeous Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze looks even to this day, it is still very impressive. But Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, it just looks like the Wii game. There are a few things that are updated, like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong having fur, but it's pretty much the same game. You can see that the textures and the models are very similar to that of the Wii game. And considering that the game released almost 15 years ago, yeah, you better remake it, especially if you're charging full price. And this isn't something that Shadow dropped either. This is releasing in January of next year. So unless there is much more to this game that we don't know about, I'm fully expecting it to be a $60 port that's pretty much the same game. Which is a shame, because I love Donkey Kong Country Returns, just like I love Luigi's Mansion 2. But at the end of the day, worst comes to worst, it's still going to be Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Switch, and it probably will be the definitive way to play it, just like Luigi's Mansion 2. But anyways, that was disappointing, and I am probably going to make a video on how HD games from Nintendo are handled poorly. So when it comes to remakes, if they have the same title as the original, that's when you know they're going to be of high quality. But if there's a suffix HD, then that's when things are going to start to get iffy. There were some really cool third-party announcements. Seeing Stray come to the Nintendo Switch was unexpected considering that the game was made for more powerful consoles, but it looks to be a solid port of the game. I love cats, and seeing Stray come to the Switch is nothing but a good thing. Very exciting to see, and considering that I mostly play on my Switch, I probably will be getting it. There were quite a few collections too. Marvel vs. Capcom's coming back, Ace Attorney, and of course there is the Dragon Quest HD 2D games, so all that stuff looks great. You know me, I'm not the biggest into JRPGs, but just seeing the amount of quality with the collections that were in the Direct, always nice to see. But regardless, you come to a Nintendo Direct for the first party announcements, but you also come for the Mario Party announcements. We're getting a new Mario Party game, being Super Mario Party Jamboree. After Mario Party Superstars, I wasn't sure what to expect going forward with the Mario Party series. I was thinking they'd do something along the lines of Mario Party Superstars 2 with GameCube boards. That's a safe route to go, because with Mario Party Superstars, after the failure of Super Mario Party, it just seemed like, okay, we might not be able to make a good original Mario Party, so let's just do what worked in the past. And worked out beautifully. But this game seems to be addressing a lot of the problems of Super Mario Party, and it seems to return to the classic formula. So I have good faith that this might actually be a great Mario Party game. The boards were advertised as being large and in charge, and if you played Super Mario Party, the main problem is that the boards were incredibly small. And also another thing I noticed, stars will be 20 coins, so it seems that this game is using the classic formula, but expanding upon it. And if that is the case, this could very well be a great Mario Party game. Mario Party is one of those kind of games where I only play multiplayer. It's best to play with a group of people, preferably at least 3 or 4, and considering that there's online multiplayer with 20 players, I am wondering, will this support 4 players in local multiplayer, or will it be one of the games that supports 8 players locally? Only time will tell, but there's just one thing about the game that does not look good, and that's the fact that it seems that it only uses Joy-Con controls. And single Joy-Cons at that. That was something that was not good about Super Mario Party, and considering Mario Party Superstars had Pro Controller support, that would be taking a step back. But overall, it seems that they're addressing a lot of the criticisms from Super Mario Party, and things look very promising here. This is ND Cube we're talking about, so I'm not fully confident yet, but at the same time, everything we've seen, it looks like it could be really good. You know what's definitely going to be a great game? What was revealed in the middle of the Direct. Now this is something that would have been a One More Thing announcement, but we are getting a brand new 2D Zelda game, being The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Just like how 2D Mario was last year, 2D Zelda is way overdue for a new entry, because the last one we got, being The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds, was over a decade ago. But with this new entry, there is quite the twist. For the first time since The Legend of Zelda Wand of Gamelon on the Philips CDI, we are playing as Princess Zelda. Now, instead of making it like a 2D Zelda game, but playing as Zelda with a sword, there's actually a very interesting new mechanic. You are given a new wand that can copy items, which you can use to either improvise in the overworld, or you can even use it to take out enemies. This is a really cool new mechanic, and it gives the game its own identity. Having it be a game where you play as Zelda is already cool enough, but seeing them pretty much make a new concept that goes beyond just using a sword and giving the game different gameplay mechanics while also having it be like a traditional 2D Zelda game, this is a very cool game. I gotta say, I definitely need to get more into 2D Zelda games. A Link Between Worlds, I had a lot of fun playing that, but also Link's Awakening. And it is retaining the art style from that game, which I'm very happy about. But like I said, man, if this were the middle Direct announcement, what the hell could be the finale? And here we are with the One More Thing. It finally happened. Metroid Prime 4 was showcased for the first time. It restarted development in 2019, but I gotta say, what we've seen of the game, it looks incredible. I gotta say, it might just be worth the long wait. Considering how long it took, I'm just very impressed by what we're seeing so far. For one, the game looks gorgeous, and it also runs at a smooth 60 frames per second. You can clearly tell that Nintendo did a lot to get this game perfectly optimized for the Nintendo Switch, but in terms of gameplay, it also looks to be great. So far, we haven't seen some drastically new mechanics from other Metroid Prime games, but I feel like that'll be revealed in due time. But considering just how long it took, it is surreal even seeing it, and it has a subtitle being Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And I do think that that is a hint for what this game could actually be. There was the Nintendo Switch logo towards the end of the game, but I do feel that this game will be a cross-gen game similar to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This will probably release on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. How could it not when it's called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? So in terms of what the last first-party Nintendo Switch game might be, it might just be Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. We'll have to wait and see. There always could be a September Direct, but wow, what a Nintendo Direct. Overall, how does this Nintendo Direct stand? My favorite Nintendo Direct of the Switch era is the June 2023 Nintendo Direct, and I thought it'd be very hard for anything to even come close to topping it. But you know what? In terms of whether this Direct was better than that, only time will tell. But honestly, they might be on the same level. We got Mario & Luigi Brothership, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and finally seeing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Just insane. I gotta say, this was an incredible Nintendo Direct. The only thing setting it back was not even Nintendo Switch Sports Basketball. It was just Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. But even then, maybe that could get better. But everything else, just simply incredible. I am so glad Nintendo has been on a roll with Nintendo Directs. They used to be consistently disappointing, but now they are consistently exciting again. And I gotta say, this is a great time to be a Nintendo fan. And for the final year of the Nintendo Switch, this is an excellent way to end things off. So what was your favorite announcement? Let me know in the comments, and as always, keep calm and da-da on.